listening to Gwatney Unplugged on Newsradio 102.9 KARN with Scott Romine. Brought to you by Gwatney Automotive Group.
Hey, Scott here. We're talking with Shawn Maves, Mr. Ontario, about myths in fitness. He writes for Faith and Fitness magazine and has been a competitive bodybuilder. He's done all this awesome stuff. I want to ask you about these guys today. I always hear they're using insulin. Is that the same thing diabetics are taking? And what would that do to build muscle?
Yeah, I don't, insulin, I'm not a real expert at that. I know my wife is actually diabetic. She takes it. When you take insulin, it lowers your blood sugar. A lot of the guys that have wider, thicker looking waists, that's because of a combination of using growth hormone, which grows everything in your body. I talked about that earlier, that it accelerates growth of healthy and cancerous cells. It also accelerates your growth of your organs, your intestines, and your abdominal wall, and all that stuff. So you're getting the side effects. Guys are bigger. You look at some of the guys today. You look at Phil Heath and some of the mass monsters, Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Yates, Phil Heath, all those guys. They have thicker muscles, but you'll notice also they have slightly thicker waists also than the classic era guys.
Yeah, I don't care for the look, but the growth hormone has got to be growing their intestines and spleen and everything else. So I think that would be what's affecting these waistlines.
Exactly. That's what's happening.
Well, yeah, your bicep might be growing, but, you know, lungs and intestines and heart and all these other things could be enlarging as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's because of the GH and the insulin. Some guys are twinning actually GH with insulin. And when I first found out about the insulin guys are using about 10 years ago, I was a bit surprised because I didn't quite understand why they were doing it. But apparently it kind of supercharges the growth hormone, but along with it comes the side effects. That's where you're seeing the bloated bellies, the expanded waistlines. And Scott, have you noticed that a lot of the pro bodybuilders today at the top, they don't have the striations. You're not seeing the striations in the chest, the quads, biceps, triceps. Yeah, and that's because the insulin actually, the insulin is actually created intramuscular fat, and you're not getting the athletes aren't quite as ripped as they used to be.
That's true. That is very true. They're just bloated looking. Just not a fan. They look like off-season guys, but that's just my opinion. So, how about the myth that steroids are not addictive?
Yeah, that absolutely is another myth. Steroids are not addictive like cocaine or heroin or anything like that, but the addiction comes psychologically, and I can tell you firsthand because like I said before, I was off and on steroids for 2.5 years during my competition years. And the thing is this: higher levels of depression come when these guys have spent so much time and so much time in the gym and doing all these cycles. And then when they finally come off, a lot of some guys have experiencing depression. We see suicidal tendencies. It all starts with this obsession with size. It's almost like anorexia in reverse. And I know because I experienced some of those things. And Scott, what I try to talk to people about on Facebook and Faith and Fitness magazine is the real you is not what you see. The real you is your soul, which is your intellect, your emotion, your will, and the spirit inside of you.
Man, we're pretty much out of time. I sure appreciate you being on the show and discussing these myths, and always great to talk to you. Mr. Ontario, Shawn Maves, and hopefully you'll be back again soon.